Hi, I'm your host, Whitney Jolly-Loreaux, and today we're going to be exploring the sweet city of Fort Thomas. This is my team member, Lisa Kortz.
Let's go check out Fort Thomas Coffee. I'm here with Christine Smalley. She and her husband own Fort Thomas Coffee. So I know you recently just moved into this fantastic new location.
Thanks, yeah.
Can you tell us about your vision for the shop and how you're gonna reach out to the community?
Absolutely. So we moved from across the street to expand the coffee shop to better support community. We looked at what this town did really well, and we thought of ways to make that even better over here. So we added a kids zone, a really cute place for kids to play. We have a business center where folks can get their copies printed, use office supplies, and rent conference rooms. And we added spaces for business folks to work alone while being in community. And we offered a space for students after school to come and hang out. And we have a wine and cocktail bar, because that's another way people connect and gather, not just around coffee, but around cocktails too.
That sounds so awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for spending the morning with us and let us enjoy some wonderful coffee with
Absolutely.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
I'm here with Mark Collier, the COO of Link and KY. So Mark, you have been like a lifelong resident of Fort Thomas, and you're really an enthusiast of Fort Thomas, I would say, right?
I love it here. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So we're today here at this beautiful home in the park, in Tower Park. It's a beautiful historical property. All of the homes around it are amazing. But tell us what you know about the park and how did it get its name?
Yeah, it's really interesting and exciting to be in this specific house, but Tower Park is really historic in nature. It was here and put here and constructed here by the federal government in the late 1800s. It actually served as a mobilization point for the American troops during the Spanish-American War. And so a lot of the structures that are here in the historic park are still here today. The historic water tower, 102-foot tall stone tower that was used to kind of peer out and see where things were at in our community. The mess hall is still in use today as a community center. The armory, where the troops used to actually play basketball and run around a little bit, that is in use today as well. So the homes that we are in today, also really historic.
Yeah, I think these homes were built in like 1888, is that correct?
Yeah, 1888, where we are right here in the Colonel's home, the crown jewel of the officer homes of Tower Park. So where we are right now, all of the higher level Army officers and sergeants and all those kinds of things would stay here. And this house is incredible. It was redone pretty recently, and the residents here have always wanted to see it sort of restored to glory, and gosh, it looks great now.
Pulling in, I thought I saw like an amphitheater. Is that something you guys host a lot of events at?
Yeah, it's really great. So you kind of pull down, it's this historic place where there's a lot of old history and buildings, and we host a lot of regional events here. Specifically in September, every year we have a big music day, a big act, and have close to hundreds of thousands of people that cram into Fort Thomas, and the amphitheater is used as the main focal point of that music day.
Yeah, that's really incredible. I thought I also noticed that there were some cannons in the front of the park. Tell me a little bit about the history of those.
So the cannons are sitting right next to the main water tower. You can't miss it. It's 102 feet tall. The cannons there were actually stolen from Havana Harbor in the late 1800s during the Spanish-American War. And it was sort of the American troops spiking the football a little bit to say, we're gonna take your cannons, and they are there, right there in Fort Thomas, Kentucky to this day.
Wow, that's incredible. I really appreciate all of your knowledge and the history for this town and your time especially. So thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The American Dream. I hope that you have fallen in love with Fort Thomas as much as I have.